Alright, what's up guys? Devon back here after an interesting American Express. We're moving into the 2023 Farmers Insurance Open. And man, Sunday was interesting when I was watching. As you guys know, I was very on Taylor Montgomery, and oh man, he started off that front nine, man. He was looking good. He was up there with those guys. He was up there with Rahm and Davis Thompson, and Rahm and Thompson just weren't pulling away in that final group. I also had Poston in that final group. Like my two bets that were live going into Sunday were Montgomery and Poston. Poston just didn't really do anything. Fell down the leaderboard on Sunday. But man, Montgomery, man, he started off, I believe he either shot a 32 or a 31 on the front nine with a bogey. And that whole time, once he was making the turn, I was like, man, if he just didn't bogey that one hole, he would be one stroke back. He'd be right on these guys, and I had a shot, and he was making some moves, and I was watching because he was still live, man. Just going, like, as he was getting up to 12, 13, he was still there with those guys because they just weren't pulling away. Rahm dropped a stroke at one point, dropped back down to 26 under, and it was really close. And yeah, Montgomery on 14, he had about 104, 105 yards in, and he hit this great shot. Looked great. And after it hit the green on the first bounce, I thought, man, this is going to go by the hole just a little bit, probably check up and come back, and he's going to have a great look at birdie. And that ball took one hop, and it hit the flagstick, and because of how much spin was on it and how hard it hit the pin, it just rolled right to, it was right on the fringe. It was still on the green, but the fringe was definitely there and probably caused a little bit of problems with the putt, and he ended up walking away with par, even though he hit a great shot coming in. And then he didn't take advantage of the last par 5, which I thought for sure that was going to be a birdie hole for him, and it would have put him right there with those guys. So he pars the final par 5, and then he goes to 17, par 3 island green. And he looked like it looked like I was up there swinging. He hit a 9-iron, and as soon as he hit it, he just dropped the club in his backswing, and that thing just took a straight line shot into the water, and he ends up double bogeying 17 and just killed his chance. If he would have, so many things could have happened there. If he would have got birdie on 14 and didn't hit the pin, and there was just too many things that he could have done differently. At first I was like, man, if this would have just happened, he would be right there with these guys. He'd be leading. Probably would have been, he would have may have won. If he birdied 14, birdied the final par 5, parred 17 instead of double bogeying, and then he ends up birdieing 18 coming in. So, tough break. Used him in one and done. Got a 5th place finish out of him. Not too bad. I was really excited because the bet was looking good as he was just making his way through. And then when he, those last like 3-4 holes, man, it was just unfortunate. Or else he would either have been second, or he would have been possibly tied with Rahm and may have gone to a playoff. But it is what it is. We're close. The outright is coming soon. Draftkings lineups didn't do too good. Had 2 people miss the cut. Novak, I used it at the bottom just terrible. And then Cam Davis just could not score. I mean, it was just unfortunate. But we had a couple bets that were live. You know, Poston was in that final group with Rahm and Thompson. Montgomery was chasing those guys. So, all in all, the process seemed like it was pretty good. Just fell a little short. So, moving on to this week. Pretty excited. I think there's a couple ways to get different here. And so we're just going to talk through my favorite plays in each range. So in the 10K range, you've got, 10K up, because Jon Rahm is 11-6 this week on Draftkings, and it is deservedly so. He probably could be even more expensive with the way he's playing, and this is his favorite course on tour. Won the U.S. Open at this course in 2021. Got engaged at this course. I mean, this is his favorite course, and his Farmers tournament history is just insane. And the way he's playing right now, you know, I don't know. It's very easy to go back to Rahm this week and just fit him in at 11-6, and I do like him. I'm kind of tinkering around to see what I can do with Rahm in lineups right now, and if I like what I'm seeing in my lineups with Rahm. But yeah, I'm gonna play Rahm. He's not necessarily my favorite play just because it's the price tag is steep, but it could be even more. So I like Rahm. You can say great things about Tony Finau and Xander Schauffele. Xander shot 10 out under on Sunday with an albatross, with an awesome shot to get that albatross. So I mean, he gained he got three of his 10 strokes on Sunday from the albatross. So, but he was rolling on that back nine. I think if I remember right, he had like 5-6 birdies in a row. It was insane. So. Definitely, Xander looks good after the back scare, and everybody was worried about it. So if you played Xander last week, congratulations to you. But can't say nothing bad about Tony and Xander, but I don't think I'm going to be playing them. But the guy I do think I will be playing a good bit is Collin Morikawa, and we will talk about him in the betting show as well. I do like Collin Morikawa now. Like, looking at Torrey, it favors longer hitters, but Collin has had some success at this course. That U.S. Open where Jon Rahm won, I have it right here, actually. We can look at it. Collin was T4 with Brooks Koepka and Guido Migliozzi, and Rahm won it. At the top of this leaderboard, you see a lot of guys that went over to live, but and there's Xander as well, T7. So Collin has proven that he can do it at this course. He has a T21 here at the Farmers itself. He's going to be hitting out of the fairway. He's great with his long irons, great on approach. Because the thing with this course is we're going to be looking at driving distance, wanting to be in the fairway, and also around the green play comes into factor big time here. So Collin kind of lacks in the driving distance and the around the green play, but his approach shots are great. He loves California courses. He, if you flick it over to POA, he looks great on POA. Like, I think if you click on POA greens, he's like 4th in the model. So I like Collin Morikawa, and I think it's going to be a way to get different up top. A lot of people, moving down to this 9K range. 9K range is very interesting. You got Will Zalatoris at 97, Justin Thomas at 94, Sung Jae at 93, Taylor Montgomery 92, Max Homa 91, Hideki at flat 9,000. So I like, I don't think you can go wrong with Will Zalatoris. Lost in the playoff here last year. Justin Thomas hasn't been looking too good recently. Might stay away from him until he gets into a little bit better form. Sung Jae, always a great option. Think I'm going to save him for the Florida swing. Not playing him this week. I like Taylor Montgomery, but as of right now, with the way I'm building, especially if I have Rom in, I'm not getting to Taylor Montgomery. We'll talk about him in the betting show. I think in the 9K range, my favorite play is Max Homa, California guy. Does great in these California swings. His game is trending. I mean, he could win this week. He's not like the longest hitter, but he's got some distance on him. His around the green play is great. He's good on POA. So I like Max Homa. I think he's going to be popular this week. But if we start with Colin and get different elsewhere, you can even put, I was messing around with a Rom and Homa start in the lineup, and you can do it and it not look too bad. So I like Homa a lot this week. Staying away from Hideki, man. The putter, I was tilting at the Sony watching Hideki hit 5-foot putts, so I'd prefer not to do that again. Moving down to the AK range. Not going to list everyone here, but I'm going to point out a few people that I really like. Jason Day's got the course history. He looks like he's in great form. I think he's going to be very popular this week because the people are going to be looking at course history. And he's actually playing decently right now. So, I have him started. I like him as an option, but I don't think I'm going to be playing him based off of his popularity because of other people I'm going to be playing ahead of him. I like Maverick McNeely. Great on POA. He has a decent track record here at the Farmers. The thing with Mav is he can spray it off the tee, not playing out of the fairway a lot. But if he can play out of the fairway, I mean, look at his strokes gained short game. He's number 1 in the last 24 rounds. And he's also number 1 in putting in the last 24 rounds. So I think Maverick McNeely at 8,600 is a good play. Another guy that I really like is JJ Spawn. Not the longest hitter, kind of like Colin Morikawa. But if he's playing out of the fairway, he's going to look good. He's greater. He's really good in this field around the green. I really like JJ Spawn. He has a decent tournament history here. Cam Davis, strictly on the driving distance, I like. Don't think I'll be getting to him. He makes the cut like every year here at Farmers, but they're not like impressive finishes. They're like T56, T44. Like, he's not that high up on the leaderboard. Yes, he's making the cut, but we need a little bit more out of him from just making the cut at 8,400. I think Justin Rose is an interesting option. He has a great tournament history here. Might be a little bit more popular because people are looking at the tournament history and he's getting talked up through other channels. Moving down to the 7K range. Not going to list everybody here, but we're going to point out a few. Wyndham Clark has got great driving distance. He's got decent around the green game. He's a good putter. So I like Wyndham Clark. Taylor Pendrith is a bomber, so I could see using him. Thomas Dietrich, just based off of his recent play, I don't think this is necessarily the best fit for him. He's sneaky long on the off the tee, but this is going to be a little bit hard of a test for him. But his form is great. I mean, he's been doing great so far this season on the PGA Tour. Hear a lot of people talking about Kurt Kitayama. Think he might be a little bit more popular. Same thing with Burmeister. A lot of people are talking about him. I think he might get a bump because of that. I like Will Gordon, but again, I think Will Gordon's going to be popular. And I'm trying to get a little bit different with my lineups, especially if I'm starting with like Rom, Homa, because those guys are probably going to be a little bit more popular. Patrick Rogers always gets talked about in the California swing. Great on POA. Was decent at the U.S. Open in terms of like the field. I mean, he was down T30 something. Where is he at here? I saw him as I was looking through it earlier. Maybe he's higher than this, and I'm just crazy. Oh, right there. Yep, T31. So, considering that field is a lot more loaded, pretty decent. He has, like I said, he's a good POA putter. He's great in the California swing, so I could see going to him. Ben Griffin's been really good, but I think he's going to be a popular option. Someone I really like down here, based off of his around the green play, and that he's long off the tee, and he's actually pretty good. Proximity 200 plus is Ben On, and I think he's going to be someone I'm playing a lot of. So I really like Ben On at 7,200. Matt Neesmith has a decent course tournament history here. Like T30s, T20s. So he is an interesting option. Moving down at the bottom of the 7K range, Lonto Griffin has a great tournament history here, but we haven't seen Lonto Griffin since he's been injured, so it's going to be his first start back. It'll be very interesting to see. A lot of people are talking about Callum Tarrant because of his driving distance and some of his around the green play. Probably going to stay away from him because I think he's going to be a little bit more popular. Getting down to the 6K range, some guys that I like down here. Michael Thompson has had a few good finishes here. Kevin Strimlin seems to make the cut here. But these guys just aren't like the longest hitters. It's kind of rough down here. I do like Tyson Alexander. His around the green game is really good in this field compared to a lot of others. He competed at the Houston Open, lost to Tony Finau, was second. So he shows that he can get it done in more difficult tracks. So I think Tyson Alexander might be the lowest guy I go to. I think the only other guy that I had started just because of his around the green game and that he is long off the tee was Eric Barnes, but that's diving really deep. I think the deepest I'll go is Tyson Alexander. So to wrap it up, some of my favorite plays, my 6 favorite plays that I've found so far. I think Jon Rahm is a great option. He's going to be popular, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and wins again this week. He's playing phenomenally. He's on a mission to get back to world number 1, and he just looks like he just can't be stopped right now. Colin Morikawa is going to be one of my favorite plays this week at 10K. I think he's just going to be a different way to make a creative lineup because I don't think a lot of people are going to be looking at him. Max Homa at 9,100. Going to be popular, but I really like him this week. His game is trending. We'll talk about him in the betting show. JJ Spawn at 8,500. I really like this week, and I think I'm going to find him in lineups, especially I think I had a lineup with Rahm, Homa, and Spawn, and I liked it. It looked good. Maverick McNeely at 8,600. I really like the idea of playing Maverick McNeely, and his game seems to be trending in the right direction. And then as my cheap play, Ben On. Just his around the green numbers look great. He's long off the tee, good proximity 200 plus. So those are my favorite plays this week. Hopefully this week's is a little bit better to me than it was last week. I mean, we had some good plays, had some guys that were at the top of the leaderboard, but just couldn't keep it going on Sunday. So looking for a 6-6 this week. Looking for a good turnaround, bounce back week. And hope this video helps you guys out as you're making your lineups. All right, good luck, everybody. Let's win some money.